Thank you very much for inviting us to this special event and an important topic. I bring the following greeting from the Senator. Our nation's manufacturers and their employees can compete against the best in the world, but they cannot compete against nations that provide huge subsidies and unfair advantages to their producers. Time and time again, I hear from Maine manufacturers whose efforts to compete successfully in the global economy simply cannot overcome the practices of illegal pricing and subsidies of nations such as China. The results of these unfair practices are lost jobs, shuttered factories, and decimated communities. Over the past decade, China has undergone a significant economic transformation, and today China's economy is no longer completely owned and controlled by the government. The problem is not China's economic liberalization and modernization, however. The problem is that while China is becoming a key international economic player, it has repeatedly refused to comply with standard international trading rules and practices. These violations include the use of subsidies and other economic incentives and are designed to give its producers an unfair competitive advantage. U.S. paper mills, including several mills in Maine, enjoy a huge competitive advantage over producers in other parts of the world. In Maine, we have an abundant supply of the primary renewable resource, timber, which produces very high quality pulp for paper production. We have ample hydroelectric power to run our mills, and we have the best trained, the most efficient, and the most dedicated paper workers. Despite these advantages, our paper producers have been forced to curb their production lines and announce layoffs as a result of unfair competition. Ironically, and in contrast to U.S. paper producers, China has no natural advantage in the production of paper. It does not have an abundant supply of the requisite inputs and must import much of the pulp that it uses to make paper. It is only because of illegal subsidization that China can compete in the paper products market in the U.S. and in Europe. I was pleased when in February the Department of Commerce issued an affirmative preliminary countervailing duty determination against China and Indonesia in the case brought by NewPage and Savvy Fine Paper. The Department of Commerce found that the Chinese coated paper was subsidized by an average rate of 8.38%. In October, I sent a letter supporting NewPage's petition to the Department of Commerce. With this recent ruling, our producers can better succeed in this market. The Department of Commerce is expected to rule on an anti-dumping petition also brought on behalf of NewPage and Savvy. It is my hope that the department will rule in the affirmative. The continued manipulation of the Chinese currency, the yuan, by the Chinese government is also a problem for American manufacturers. By keeping the yuan's value at artificially low levels, the Chinese are able to further subsidize their domestic industries. In response, I co-sponsored bipartisan legislation, the Currency Exchange Rate Oversight Act of 2010. The bill produces stern consequences for countries that fail to adopt appropriate policies to eliminate currency misalignment and includes tools to address the impact of current misalignments on U.S. industries. Additionally, I recently wrote to the Secretary of the Treasury requesting that he list China as a currency manipulator in his upcoming report to Congress. Such a listing would place further pressure on China to revalue its currency, but would also allow the federal government to provide additional corrective actions. I will continue to work to ensure that Maine's workers and industries are able to compete on a fair and level playing field so that they can show what makes them the best in the world. Thank you very much. Senator Susan Collins.